Okay, we got cold weather coming in. Cold for us anyway. First freeze, first frost of the year. Just about on time. Our average first frost is November 15th, and tomorrow will be the 13th. So we're supposed to get down to 28, 29 tomorrow night and the next night. So what I'm going to do is I am digging up a few of my tomatoes. Boy, I hate to lose these things. And I'm going to try and experiment tonight. I mean, these are blooming. These are red cherry tomatoes. Dadgum, I hate to lose those, because they're just now starting to put a few tomatoes on. But I have absolutely no control over Mother Nature. So what I've done, these are celebrities here, and they've already gotten so tall. I tied them with the Florida weave, but they've gotten so tall that they've fallen over, and they would be about 5 or 6 feet tall. And the so anyway, let me show you what I've done. I dug up 2 of the celebrities, 2 of the red cherry tomatoes, and 2 of the jalapeno giganteas. And as you can see, I've got some nice jalapenos on here now. So I'll show you what else I'm gonna do, but first let me show you what I've done as far as digging these up. Okay, here's what I've done is pop these up. These are those are the 2 giganteas. Those are 2 regular jalapenos that I potted up a good while ago. Did a video on that back in the summer, and you know, they're not looking great, but I haven't been taking care of them like I should. They've been in the shade most of the time, so hopefully they'll start perking up. But the reason I did this, and you can see I've already got some cherry tomatoes on both of those cherry tomato plants. The reason I've done this, 2 reasons. Hopefully I can put these in the greenhouse and they will survive for the foreseeable future, for the winter. And if not, then first thing next year, January-ish, I'll start. If they didn't produce fruit, if they produced fruit, great. If they didn't produce fruit, then hopefully if they live, and that's why I did 2 of each. 1 dies, I still got 1. 1 is none, 2 is 1. And on the tomatoes, I will clone them. If one of them is still alive, both of them are still alive, whatever. Any suckers that they put out, I will clone that for a big start on next year's tomato crop. So in other words, January comes and I've got some suckers here. I'll go ahead and root those, and root those indoors, I'm sure, probably. And then I will, as they get a good root system, I'll put them in the greenhouse, and come March I should have some foot tall plants or better with some excellent root system. So hopefully, you know, the kind of plants you buy in the store that cost $4 or $5 at the first of the year, 1st of March or whatever, first of the planting year. But I trimmed them. I picked. This is what was on the two jalapenos. That's not a bad jalapeno there. Those are jalapeno giganteas. I picked the fruit off except for those 3. Just a few cherry tomatoes, and I'm debating about that yet. I don't know. I may leave them on there. It just depends on how the plant looks in a few days. But rule of thumb, my understanding is, and like I say, these plants right now are about 2.5 feet tall. I pruned them back at least halfway. Rule of thumb is, I think, take 1/3 of the plant off. And I did that, but I had to leave. There's just no leaves down here at the bottom, so I had to leave. At least I felt like I did. Had to leave some foliage to give them a little energy, and. So, you know, I may not have cut back enough of the plant, but if I got down any further, there wouldn't be any foliage on it. So I wanted to leave that. So what I'm going to do, they're inside the barn here. I'll open up the barn every morning, and or the next couple of mornings, and pull them out. And after it gets warms up a little bit, let them get the sun. I'll take care of them. I haven't moved my greenhouse up to the house yet. That's why I'm not putting them in the greenhouse yet. And I don't want to have to start heating the greenhouse this early. So if I can put them in at night, now that I'm retired, I can do that. So that's the plan. And then I'll show you what else I'm going to do with the rest of the plants out there. So what I'm going to do with the rest of them, the rest of the pepper plants, is pull them up by the roots and bring them in the barn, hang them up, and that gives me a few days to pick them. I just don't have time right now to pick all of them because I have so many peppers. And I've got some pretty nice ones. That is a Marconi red, and some of them are already turning a little red. But I just don't have time. Boy, there's a good one. I just don't have time to pick them all. So again, this will give me time. I've done this before. They stay viable for a few days, especially if it's cooler weather. And I have got tons and tons of cayenne, and I want to make sure I can those. And this is the best way to do it for me. Just got to hang them up for right now, and I'm just going to pull up probably a dozen or more plants and bring them in here and put them on this rack, and pick them tomorrow, the next day, start canning them. So thought you might want to kind of see about winterizing. This is a great way to do it. Pot you some plants up and get a good start cloning some of your tomatoes perhaps for next year by potting some up now before the frost, before it freeze. I know some of you are way past that now. But anyway, another way is to, if you have some peppers especially, and it may work for tomatoes too, not sure, but if you have some peppers and we'll do this, then they will pull them up and they will be viable for a few days. Gives you a little time if you kind of rush around like I am. I gotta mess with wells and just kind of make sure everything's ready to go for a cold night. There you have it, a Christmas tree decorated in red and green, just full of peppers. And that, I mean, that is just absolutely full of red uns and green uns. So I will pick these tomorrow, and you know what, it's going to be a whole lot nicer picking them standing up than it is squatting down. And I mean, I got the cayenne peppers. So if you haven't got a cold spell yet, and if you want to try this, I think you certainly should. This is practical homesteading. Okay, so here's what I've got. Got 8 pints of, these are just cayennes. All these are just cayenne peppers. And I did these with the pickling recipe that I showed you before, the pickling recipe that includes olive oil. And I didn't tell you after I did them how good it was. It was excellent. So I highly recommend that, and we'll put a link to that for you to watch. I also did a gallon, put a gallon of these in the freezer, just in a freezer bag. A gallon of jalapenos and a gallon of the Marconi, sweet Marconi reds. But this is what I got. All these would have died in the frost, and all the plants are dead right now. So these came out real well. This is about 3 days later, and I waited a couple of days before I canned them. Anyway, thought you might want to see my bounty here. We got some bounty going on. So this is practical homesteading. Do some canning. We go.